In 2023, a crack commando unit of retro podcasters joined forces on a panel at LA Comic-Con, but were sent to Comic-Con jail for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped. Today, still wanted by 80s nerds, they are very easy to find. If you have an 80s nostalgia problem, if no one else can help, maybe you can hire the Night Boys.
All right, everybody. This is a very, 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 very special 80s Kids Unite. You've been with us before. We're usually a core of four of us, myself, Corey from Podcasting After Dark, Diallo down there in the bottom, at least on my screen, from TV Obscura, and then Zach, who's like in every podcast that you've ever heard, Territory Marks, Podcasting After Dark, $2 late fee. We came together. We had a panel. We started it at LA Comic-Con. We're like, this is kind of cool. People seem to like this. And today we are joined by so many special guests, which is incredibly awesome for the holidays. We were like, we want to do something a little bit different. The holidays bring out a different level of nostalgia, right, with everybody. Whether it's, Christmas tree memories or, something, it's just like things that you did with your family when you were, growing up in the 80s. And we're like, that's just such a special kind of nostalgia that we want to bring in, a special kind of 80s squad. And so you guys were the first ones that came to mind. We've had relationships with you guys in some way before, and we're just really grateful that you're all here. John, we've had you on, I don't remember, several shows or several things, and you are of course that 80s dude, the guy who who's all about nostalgia. So we really appreciate you coming out. And then we got Tim from the Blast from the Past Network, who I guess you said to Corey that you are a fan of 80s Kids more so than any other show, which is incredibly flattering.
I've been deeply enjoying it lately. So
yeah, so we were like, we need Tim. We got to get Tim. So thank you for coming on.
It's a Christmas miracle. Thank you for having me.
It is, yeah. That was the phrase I was going to use also. And then Ducky Dale, we met back in LA Comic-Con maybe several years ago. I think we connected. Maybe you connected with Zach on a panel.
Yeah, I think it was at one of your panels, and we just randomly crossed paths in the hallway, and like, oh my god, one day we'll get John Cryer on. And we're like, okay, cool, that's not happening, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, it was great to meet you back then, and appreciate you coming on now. And you are in the suburbs of Chicago in real life.
Yeah.
And that's where Ducky is from. So we appreciate that. And then Grace, of course, I know that you are when I think of the 80s, I think of a few people, all of whom are here, but of course, Grace, you're still going to the 80s malls and visiting all the, it's like your day-to-day is kind of in the 80s.
I just like to say I never grew up, right? I was a kid in the 80s and I just kind of stayed there. So Arrested Development at its finest.
Yeah. Well, you're doing really well for yourself in that Arrested Development stage. And, and we and so many others appreciate it. And so today we're going to kind of go back to that time of childhood wonder, and just kind of see like what is it that everybody resonated with mostly? And this show is really, we say it's powered by our patrons. The patrons come on for Podcasting After Dark and $2 late fee, and they're the ones that they basically
Oh.
Ho, 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 everyone! Ho, ho, ho! I wanted to welcome all of you to 80s Kids Unite, and we're celebrating the toys that I made in my workshop. That guy that I just took out was Dustin, and he is on my naughty list. In fact,
Perfect, baby.
let me see. Corey, aka Sleazy, you're on the nice list. Congratulations. Grace, you are on the nice list. Congratulations.
Nice.
Diallo, once again, nice list. Congratulations.
Oh,
Ducky
thank you.
Dale, welcome to the show. You have been very good this year. Welcome, nice list. Let's see, John, that 80s dude. You are on the nice list.
Yes. All right.
And Zach, wherever he is, always on the nice list. His son Bodie, always on the nice list. Tim from Talking Back, always on the nice list. But Dustin, he's been a little naughty.
Punish.
No.
Because this is the end of the year, Dustin made this announcement that he will take a break from $2 late fee for a while. He's coming back if he wants to get on the nice list. But until then, you've got me, Santa Claus.
Nice. Nice.
Yay!
welcome.
Yay, Santa!
Can we
It's
sit on
the
your lap?
80s.
No.
Hey Santa, hey Santa.
I mean, really quickly, let's go around. Favorite Christmas song? Corey, what's your favorite?
Warm Side of the Door from Silent Night, Deadly Night, baby.
That's my jam.
I know.
How about you, Ducky? Favorite Christmas or holiday song?
Do they know it's Christmas coming at all? I love that one.
I mean, that's a banger, as the kids say. Did they still say that? I have no idea.
I do.
Grace! Good golly, Miss Molly, Grace. What is your favorite holiday song?
Oh man, it might be Jingle Bell Rock by Hall & Oates. I have the
Wow.
45 as well, so
That's a
it's
great
on
one.
constant
That's a-
rotation.
I'm
Great
loving
one.
it. As McDonald says, I'm loving it. Tim, from Talking Back. You're up in Canada, of course.
I
You
am.
should- What? But did Rush ever do a Canadian Christmas song?
Probably.
Nickelback,
I would-
perhaps?
I don't listen to Nickelback.
Oh, well, you want to get on the super nice list? Check out Nickelback. But
Oh,
Tim, what's
man.
your favorite holiday song?
I'm gonna have to go with Christmas Time Is Here.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay. So, Diallo, favorite Christmas song? If you had to pick one,
I can't pick one.
I know you so well.
Yes. This Christmas by Donny Hathaway is probably my favorite. I think it objectively is the best Christmas song.
Now that is a good one.
Sorry,
yes.
so everyone's wrong.
So, and of course, John, for that 80s dude, what is your favorite Christmas song?
Oh man, I gotta go with Last Christmas. I mean, you know, I hear that song. It just brings back all the good vibes.
That's another
Last-
good one too.
Yeah.
I have a confession to make. This might burn a little bridges out there, but I am actually not Santa Claus. But I'm
What?
actually, it's been me all along.
Oh my
Oh man.
goodness! What the hell?
Zach, you're too good.
Sorry.
Too good.
Oh my God.
So
I am
Dustin's
shocked.
coming. He's coming back a little bit. He's recovering from the chloroform that I gave him earlier. He might, because it wouldn't be a show without Dustin and me. So actually, Dustin's back. How you doing, buddy?
Did you chloroform me again?
Wouldn't be,
Nice.
as Isai
Whoa.
Morales says in La Bamba, it wouldn't be my first or my last.
You never forget your first. And yeah, I should have seen that coming.
You
My
should've.
mind is actually truly blown. I had no idea that was not Santa. I thought Santa put a hit out on Dustin. And
I didn't see it, and I'm sorry you guys had to be here for that, because it's embarrassing to
That's a good
conversation.
Santa voice. It's a good Santa voice though.
Oh,
Wait,
thanks.
so Zach is Santa?
Surprise!
learning-
Ho, ho, ho.
The whole time, always and forever.
Yeah, this is an accurate naughty and nice list, by the way. So want to point that out. There will be no trauma coming from my side tonight. No childhood trauma from me. But I'm glad you. Do you need some water or something? Can I get you-
No, I'm good. I'm
Pretty
good.
strong.
Thank you. Yeah, the metal taste is wearing off.
Just like pennies.
Yes. And I stopped seeing Val Kilmer's ghost. So
Oh, that's good.
I'm good. All right. All right, guys.
Hey, well, guess what? We're all here together. It's exciting just having all our friends that we've had for a long time, but now they could be a part of the fun at 80s Kids Unite and celebrate some of the great things about the holidays. The presents, maybe the best thing about the holidays.
The toys.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, there's a reason why Zach and I are not usually together, and it's because I get chloroformed every time, literally every time we're together.
Well,
Just
you
how
know,
much, just how much chloroform does Zach have? Because
not to get a little too spicy, but
Enough to get on the list.
over on TV Obscura, Diallo, Corey, and I just discussed the Fat Albert Christmas special from the
Yeah,
80s.
I was thinking that when you did when you said the chloroform.
oh, man.
So you want to know where I got it? I'm not at liberty to tell. So I wanted to point out too that first of all, each and every one of you coming on, thank you so much for doing that because it's really special. We admire all of you, all the work you do on social media. Of course, Tim, your podcast Talking Back is fantastic, but John and Grace and Ducky, like I feel like we've all been
You know,
connected.
Zach,
for
I'm
really-
sorry to interrupt. I just, chloroforming someone it takes a lot out of you. So I just thought maybe you'd want to try this. You just want a sip of something.
This is I love energy drinks, and this looks like a really.
I got this one for you. I think you'll like it.
Oh, that's it's got some.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, what did you put in that?
Don't
I don't.
And
Wow.
scene.
And scene. Good job, guys.
Well, it's great.
All right, so I guess I'll be hosting the show now. How's it going, guys? And no, I'm just kidding. There we go. Hey!
Hey!
Whoa!
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa, I am young now. Okay. hold on. I am going to take off the suit because I'm so hot in here. Oh my God.
Yeah, take the suit off.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Zach.
Oh, I'm so
Wow, Zach.
young. Feels
Zach,
so
you,
good to be alive.
you look just like Bodhi. That's crazy.
Yeah, I do.
Bodhi's gonna grow up and look just like you, huh, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
All right.
All right. Peace out, Bodhi. I didn't know there's gonna be this elaborate of a bit. Good job,
Yeah.
guys. I'm proud of you.
There's
Pretty impressive.
Oh my gosh, what happened? I
Yeah.
felt like you found the fountain of youth.
I don't know.
There's
I was like
a
10 years old
Hallmark
again.
movie in this little bit
Yeah.
somewhere that we can write. Dustin, let's join forces and come up with a plot that has to do with this.
You guys like these
something
bits?
here.
These
I gotta tell you,
It's
I gotta
great.
tell you, being 10 just now reminded me of my youth in the 80s and the presents that I got in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I just want to jump into this. I just want to get us into the spirit, thinking about the gifts that we got. I'm going to start and I'm going to dial it back all the way to 1984, I think it was. And I got the Star Wars Ewok Endor, the Endor play set, right? And that's my favorite toy from the 80s that I got as a gift.
Later to be repurposed as the Robin Hood playset.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah, they repurposed
I don't know.
it.
I feel like you just ruined my childhood, even though I did, even though I had neither. I feel like
Damn English oak.
It's important to note that this topic was chosen by our good patron, our top patron, basically, Magdalena. She was actually at the first panel that we did of this,
Right.
So it only seems fitting that that it is her idea. So Magdalena, thank you. And if you are out
Thank
there,
you.
give a little comment.
Yeah.
Pat yourself
let
on the
us
back.
know. Yeah. So that's my childhood favorite. And what I loved about that playset, and we can go around really quickly if anybody had that or is familiar with it. It had like traps on it. It had multi levels. It had, hidden compartments basically.
Right.
And you could use not just Star Wars, but your GI Joe figures, which is what I did, and that was a huge part of my childhood. I wish I still had it.
Why don't
It was
you?
like the Dagobah set, but like
That's
you know,
one out.
bigger, massive.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. Did anybody else have that playset?
No, but I wanted it.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. But I think you can still find them on eBay, man. They're still available. As I occasionally will search for some nostalgic things, I come across them for sure.
You're that statement you just made, I occasionally will go around looking for nostalgic things. I think we can all relate to the fact that that's kind of an addictive bug. You're like, I gotta have that Sweet Valley High book collection,
For
right,
sure.
Grace? Like I
sure.
gotta have the complete series. Yeah. I will tell you, the Endor playset was special because it was the first year that I didn't have to share a toy with my brother. Because up until that point, we shared everything. You get the Kraken from Clash of the Titans, share it. You get the Dungeons and Dragons Doom playset, right? You got to share it.
Yeah.
And here we are with my own stuff. So, anyways,
Yeah. I was like Ducky. I never had it. I always wanted it though because I thought it was really, really cool. But I got something else that I'll tell you guys about it in a little bit.
All right. Well, speaking of Ducky, what was your one of your favorite childhood gifts you got in the 80s?
I feel like I'm gonna give the most lamest one because I feel like I'm the baby of this group. I'm an early '80s baby, so it's gonna be like from 1986 when I was like a toddler. So can I pass?
You can pass. We can come back to you, but there is no wrong answer on 80s Kids Unite. We are all united.
But I gotta I'll say first, and then I'll reevaluate my short list.
Okay, sounds good.
I think it's gonna sound.
Okay, Grace, you're on deck, Grace. And I see, are you holding a Garfield plushie?
I am. He's my emotional support animal.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if we.
Tag attached.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I found him at a Goodwill a while ago, and I couldn't just let him sit there. I had to bring him home. So
Right. I'm sorry if we traumatized you. I deeply apologize if we traumatized you.
Grace, one of my big traumas from the 80s was the Garfield Christmas special. And when his mom like had to leave, I ugly cried at like the age of 5 years old. It killed me to the point where I have never seen it since, and I'm scared to watch it because I'm terrified of crying. So
I've watched it recently, yeah, because I'm such a fan of the Halloween special. It's like 10 out of 10, and then the Christmas special.
Nice.
And the Christmas special is rough, isn't it, Tim?
It's rough, yeah. Compared to the Halloween, it's like apples and oranges. Oh, nice.
We got two Garfields.
Two support
That's
animals.
awesome.
All right, Grace.
I've got
Go ahead.
I actually have Garfield glasses, but they're all in storage. They're like, you've seen these like glasses like that,
Oh,
Storage.
storage.
Storage in my garage. But I just
Right.
had I known Grace was gonna pull out a Garfield, I'd have brought the glasses out. But
John, was that the McDonald's set? Like the mugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I miss those glass mugs. Burger King had them for Return of the Jedi and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, me too, man. I've got a few glasses lying around here. This one's the Goonies, one of the Goonies ones that I drink.
Oh, wow.
I usually use pretty
Nice.
often. Yeah.
Let's see if we can spotlight you a little bit.
Can we change that?
I don't know if we can do that.
We can. Stand by.
Stand
Oh,
by?
No, we can't.
Nope.
Never mind.
All right. Well, they'll.
Oh, there
there
you
it
guys
is.
are.
Oh, nice.
You don't want to see us.
I see
Wait,
how
John.
you are.
Was that
There we go. Hold up that mug.
Spotlight that mug one more time for us.
All right, here we go. Goonies. I'm
Yeah,
trying to bring it closer
there
here.
you go, the glass.
Look at that.
With the lead paint and everything.
That's right. It's a
That is-
little Amblin Entertainment right there. 1985, obviously, when the movie came out.
Wow, that is really beautiful.
That's
That is really
awesome.
special.
That's cool.
Pretty nice.
And a quick aside to that too. Are you going to be in that new Goonies documentary that's coming out?
Oh yes, I am actually. Lisa Downs was here, and in my little humble studio, and we did a little bit of interview for that, and I'm super pumped. And that's going to be coming out for the 40th anniversary for 40 years of the Goonies, and that should be out sometime in June. So I'm
Nice.
super pumped about that.
Nice.
That's
John,
great.
I was
Yeah.
last summer I did a West Coast road trip with my mom and we stopped off in Astoria.
Oh,
I live
awesome.
in Eugene, Oregon, which is about 5.5 hours from Astoria, but it's gorgeous there. Not just
Yeah, man.
for like seeing the Goonies stuff. It's really
It's
beautiful.
really nice, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. I mean, it's pretty popular, film destination, right?
Yeah.
You got the Kindergarten Cop film
Yep.
there, and yeah, I think there's going to be an opportunity next year to go out and hang out at the Goonies house. So I'm trying to work with Lisa and see if I can head out there and maybe do a little bit sightseeing and visit the Goonies house for sure. It'd be kind of
that's
fun.
awesome.
And I think
Cool.
Adam F. Goldberg is co-producing the documentary, so that whatever he's behind is going to be amazing. But Lisa's fantastic, and if you all haven't seen some of her, I'm just plugging Lisa a little bit here because she does so much for the nostalgia community. She makes these films like Life After the Navigator, Life After the Flash, Life After the Never Ending Story. But you got to check them out. They're fantastic.
And I will add on to that. Don't be surprised if you see Lisa pop up on Tales from the Video Store in 2025 because she's going to be a guest on the show.
Awesome.
And lot of information about the Making Megaforce documentary that's coming out. But
Right.
Grace, is that Garfield is that the most sacred gift you got for the holidays or something else?
No. So can we talk about what I didn't get for Christmas really quickly?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Ducky's gonna piggyback on that.
Yeah.
Because I was just racking my brain going, okay, I mean, I knew the topic of tonight, and I was like, what was like the Christmas present? And like over and over, what came into my brain was what I didn't get. And I just have
Yeah.
a really quick story about that. So this is like pre 1985. I begged, I cried, I screamed for this.
Love it. Love it.
I pulled out all the stops to my parents, like, please buy this for me. This is like pre 84. I don't even remember. So one day my parents took me to Zodi's. I don't know if any of you West Coasters remember Zodi's. Zodi's was like a now defunct department store. So we went to Zodi's and the game was there. And my dad and my mom started playing it and they were like super into it, right? They're like, yeah, go. And they're like playing it on the counter. And I'm like, yes, they're going to buy it for me, right? So 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, they're still playing the game. And so I'm like wandering around the store by myself because they're like deep in it. Like half an hour freaking passes, they're still playing the game. And I'm like, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it. We walk out empty handed.
Oh,
I
man.
did not get this for Christmas.
Oh, man.
Wow.
What a bummer.
So, fast forward to now, I am an adult now, supposedly, and I get to buy it myself. And yes, it does work. It just needs some fresh batteries. But yeah, all these years later, I finally get the Christmas gift that I know.
I mean, I think we can make an amend to the topic, and it can be that can be included something you wanted but you never got.
Yeah, I mean that seems messed up. I think that yeah, that's like traumatic in a way.
And for those of you listening after the video on podcast form, Grace is holding it's the old handheld Pac-Man game.
Is
So
it Miss
Like a
Pac-Man or
table.
is
It's a
it-
tabletop.
it's Miss Pac-Man, yeah.
Yeah.
And can we all agree that Miss Pac-Man is better than Pac-Man, right?
Of course.
Oh,
Agreed.
by far.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, I mean, I'm glad you have it now. This
I
is
have it now.
this is what like John said. This is that's what eBay is for nowadays.
That's right.
Or thrift store finds like you did with the Garfield.
That's right.
All right, so Tim joined Corey and I on a watch list a few weeks back to discuss some of his favorite toys that he couldn't get in Canada because Tim's up in the Great White North. Tim, what is a gift that do you have a special holiday gift that's near and dear to your heart?
I definitely do. And when Corey sent out the subject matter for the evening, he said, "This is an easy one. It's your favorite Christmas gift from a child." And I'm like, "Oh, that does sound easy."
From a
And then the
child?
more I thought about it, I could only really come up with one thing. Like there was just one thing that was so forefront in my mind. I couldn't really think of anything else. So luckily I have something, but it wasn't as easy as it could have been. But I feel like I had no business receiving this toy because it was just a really expensive toy.
Wait a
It
minute.
was
That's
yeah.
not young Zach. That was Bodie.
Oh no! Sorry, don't be surprised if Bodie pops back up in a minute.
Wait a tick.
Tim, continue, please.
Sorry, Tim.
No worries, no worries. So basically,
Bodie, his favorite president.
my favorite present was a
Was your
picture of
kid in the
Bodie.
future.
He's the gift
before
that
he
keeps on giving,
existed.
I guess.
Yeah. So back to 1985, it was a Transformer. It was Jetfire.
Oh, Diallo looking around.
Oh,
Go,
You have
Diallo.
get it,
go.
go get it, Diallo. Go get it.
Get him.
Go
I'll be
get it.
back.
Okay.
I'm gonna destroy my
yeah.
apartment looking for it.
It was like a really expensive gift. So it was like a mega size Transformer. It was like at
Yeah.
least double the size of Optimus Prime. I think with inflation, it's about $100, and for $100 you could get all 6 of the Constructicons. Like that's the kind of money you were putting into it. So I asked for it, but I never expected to get it. And then Santa, Zach, you gave it to me
Oh,
that
cool.
Christmas in '85.
You were not.
Uh,
You were nice.
I appreciate it. But yeah, it's just it was something that I wanted that I didn't think I was going to get, and I got from Santa. And it's a really cool toy. It's, it's a jet, it's a robot, it's got all sorts of accessories to like boost it up into an armored mode. So it kind of had like 3 different modes instead of 2.
Yep.
I'll just never forget opening that,
Oh.
that Christmas morning. So I would have been 7 years old at the time. So
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's important to track too. I mean, we don't have to reveal any ages if you don't want to. It's all good. But John, you're an expert on so much 80s history of things, right? And that do you have any familiarity with the Jetfire from Transformers?
You know, I was a huge Transformers fan when I was a kid. I loved it. Look what he brought out there.
oh my goodness.
It's beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Just zoom in on that. I mean, that's all you need to know. It's beautiful.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
There he is.
That's awesome.
Awesome, dude.
That's great, man. That's great.
That's
Yeah, no,
John,
that's
continue,
a
yeah.
great figure. It's one of those must-haves, definitely from the '80s. You know, you collect Transformers. I actually don't have too many Transformers myself. Here on my shelf, I have a few. I have like Soundwave. I've got what do you call it? I've got a Megatron in storage. I've got let's see who else I got up here. I got Starscream up here, right up here. I don't know if you can see it.
OG.
Yeah, but yeah. So, but Jetfire, no. But that's a great figure. It's classic.
Dude, I had that Jetfire figure, and I turned him, and I would always use him as Robotech. You know, he'd be a Veritech fighter and everything.
great.
And you
Yeah.
could actually turn him into Guardian mode if you kind of just wiggled his arms a little bit. And I
What-
put him into
Corey,
Guardian mode one
tell us
too
what
many
Gar- what-
times,
what's
and his
Guardian
arm
mode?
fell off.
What's tell everybody what Guardian mode is?
Guardian mode was halfway between robot and jet. So it was like sort of half jet with the legs coming out and the arms. And I pulled his arm off. So then he just became, battle damaged Veritech fighter.
Yeah. I do it now, but I don't want the arm to fall off.
I'm totally with you, buddy. Don't go for it because that is gorgeous.
Diallo,
Yeah.
take us through the history of your Jetfire. How did you acquire such a beautiful toy?
This was a toy that I always wanted as a kid. A friend of mine had it, and I just never got it. I was a little too old to get Transformers by the time they came out. Even though my friend that's older than me had it. But anyways, now that I think about it. But yeah, we were at where we were at. We were at PowerCon. Right? Was it
WonderCon, right? WonderCon or PowerCon? It was PowerCon.
It was the one where you guys did the costumes, and
Yeah.
you were on the Kids That Made Us at that.
That's
Toys That
right.
Made Us. Yeah, it was that. So it was that one, and I saw it there, and I was like, I've always wanted to get that. And I had a choice between getting that and the $6 Million Man toy that I used to have as a kid. But I had that one already, so I got Jetfire.
I feel like that's the running theme with this group here. we all have bought the toys that we've wanted as a kid. Tim, I know from our watch list one, you just you kind of purchased those Braves Black Star figures that you liked as a kid as well.
Nice.
So
Nice.
we all
Yeah.
have that
Oh, wow.
story about like, and I feel like that's the best part now of being an adult is not buying like Diallo said, not rebuying the stuff that I had, but getting the stuff that I always wanted, you know. And now I don't have
Love
enough room
that.
in my office. So
Well, there was a toy I always wanted. It was the original Voltron release, the Defender of the Universe set.
That was so cool.
And I begged my dad for it.
Lions.
Begged like for a while, and I think he felt pretty bad. We just couldn't afford much at all when I was a kid, and so he went out and he went to like a flea market or something in Detroit, and he gave me like a generic Voltron. It was just all rubber. It didn't transform. It didn't do anything. It was like the nice.
Oh man.
Yeah, but
Not this
yeah,
one.
man,
No.
but I've always wanted the
Oh,
Voltron.
wow.
And I've always wanted to buy it, but I'm waiting for I'm trying to find a pristine inbox set, and I've budgeted for that. I'm gonna buy like completely like almost touched maybe by the first owner only. I've tracked down a couple, but they won't sell them. And I'm just waiting for that opportunity. But that's like my grail toy, is that set that I wanted.
do you
Wow.
remember a die-cast Voltron that was maybe about
Yeah.
this big and it was
I had
already
that.
you couldn't take it apart? Yeah.
Yeah. There was that for sure.
Okay.
You had that one, Zach?
I had that
Yeah,
one,
and you had that one for you?
and
Yeah.
I felt like it was I was like, oh, this is it. I don't need like the bigger one, like I was fine because I wasn't the biggest Voltron fan. I liked it, but I was like, I got my little guy. I don't need the whole
Yeah.
kit and caboodle,
Well,
thing.
Well, it's funny you said that because I would have been fine with maybe the smaller Voltron, but my childhood friend is like my brother from another mother. We grew up together in Detroit, and we actually still are here in San Diego. Now we're in San Diego together.
Cool.
But he had the original Voltron, and so I always wanted it because I was like, we could like battle Voltron versus Voltron. But like I said, years had gone by, travel and just life and stuff. But eventually, I will have one of those. I'll add it next to my other Grail that I ended up picking up 2 years ago, actually through an Instagram relationship that I developed with someone. And was a toy seller. I got the Thundercats Thunder Tank original, all in box, beautiful pristine condition, with the
Nice.
rubber tracks still
Awesome.
attached. So yeah.
Awesome.
Well, John, you're setting the bar for yourself pretty high when it comes to your reveal. So, but again, and this will echo to you, Ducky. It doesn't matter what it is; it's
Right.
what's special to you,
Yeah.
right? And so, John, what was that thing in the '80s that you're like, I gotta have? You got it,
Yeah.
or maybe you didn't get it and you wanted it, like Grace said.
No, listen, I have it. It's here next to me. I'll pull it up in just a minute, but I'm going to set it up for you. All right. When it came out, it was like the biggest thing on like to hit, right? And it's popular. It's always on the news and everything like that. And I was begging my dad to get it. And my dad, just single income earner, just really hardworking dude. And we were just, first gen immigrants to Detroit. Like he couldn't afford anything. Like I always got hand me down. So I always knew there was like really sympathetic to his ability to afford something like this. But I still was like, I still circled catalogs and things like that and told him what I wanted all the time. But there was always something at the top of my list, always. And I finally got it. He finally got it for me, and it was like the biggest deal. And honestly, I wish I had a photo, like some of the photos you see on Pinterest of kids showing this thing while they're
Right.
like smiling and totally blown away. But it's my Nintendo Entertainment System
Oh, wow.
action set
Yeah, it's very nice.
right here. And I always wanted to be this kid right here, and I wanted that to be my mom and dad. And,
You're preaching to the choir, man.
but yeah, I got this. This was life for me for a while, and the thing is like I played with one of these back in Detroit when we moved out of 7 Mile Road. We moved to a place just before we moved out to San Diego. It's like only a few miles away. It's called Oak Park, Michigan, and I had a buddy named
Mom lived
Bradley. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I had a neighbor named Bradley. His parents were like, pretty well off. He had like everything. He'd like let me have GI Joes, and just really awesome dude. I love the guy. In fact, I still have the Mike Tyson's Punch Out. He let me borrow
borrow
to play, and now I still have it. So I actually wrote an article. I said, hey, if I ever run into Bradley, if I ever run into you again, I owe you a pristine copy of this. But anyway,
he's probably watching.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But honestly, had I not, I had already been exposed to the Nintendo, so it was like a dream come true when I got it. And I spent hours and days and years cultivating my skills on my Nintendo. So you can see here, I'll kind of pull you up real quick and show you down here. You can see some of my boxed. Some of them are still sealed. Collection of Nintendo games.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm sure you're all familiar with the movie 8-Bit Christmas about the kid who wants the Nintendo for Christmas, and well, I won't spoil it for those that haven't seen it, but it's very relatable on that level. But there was that kid Timmy Keene in the movie who has the gun. He's the one that has Nintendo. Everyone goes over to his house. He has the power.
So he did.
Were you the kind of kid who's like, nope, I'm always putting the gun right to the TV, pulling the trigger, or did you give everybody a chance?
No. I actually, by the time I got it in the late 80s. It was already around, and so I was the kid who went to my neighbor's house and had friends that had them. So I would go there, and I tried to be generous because I was keen to the fact that they could have gotten other friends to come over and play and use the other joystick controller. So I would like bring things over. I'd bring like some of my mom's kulecha, or like it's like dates with like dough around it, like as gifts, to sort of play. But no, I was fortunate. I had great neighbors growing up. In spite of the places I grew up in, there was great neighbors, and just had an opportunity to be that kid that showed up there. But once I got it, my friends from school and stuff would come over sometimes and we play. And I was always generous with it. I feel like they would say that about me just because I knew what it felt like to always desire it,
Right.
So
now you have the power, but
now I've got it. Yeah, now I got it right here, man. It's right next to me, bro.
Oh, it's a power gun. Look at that.
Yep.
Man, this is amazing. Okay, so we're gonna go back to Ducky. And by the way, Ducky, we met at LA Comic-Con several years ago. I came up to you directly and I'm like, you look amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I just love that whole deal.
And then you end up being the super cool person too on top of it. You weren't a jerk. So you got your $2.
Hey. Well done.
I'm there and I'm like, can I have two? Because my sister won't me. So.
All right, Ducky. So maybe it wasn't the gift you got, but what was that holiday gift that you wish you wanted?
I'm gonna preface this with saying that everything that everyone has said so far has really cut deep, hit me right directly in the field and in my soul, and especially you, John, because holy crap, I feel like we're like siblings from another mister, because like I have to say the story because that's pretty much how I grew up. I had a mom and a dad, but we were a single income, very not poor, but just like couldn't afford all the big stuff, and would jump the fence to the other friends' houses to really choice stuff. I was friends with them because they had the choice stuff. I made friends with them first and found out they had the choice stuff. Like, okay, I'll stay. Friendship stays for those toys. But so I do like Grace's side quest, and I think I'll continue with that. Was the thing that I didn't get would have been like Transformers, anything the real Ghostbusters.
Oh man,
Alf. I wanted a stuffed Alf.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. I wanted a what is it? Power Wheels Jeep. Not the Power, but just the Jeep. I always circle that in the JCPenney's catalog every single year. What are the ones that I really, really wanted? My Pet Monster. That was something that I really, really wanted. And one year I saw it at a resale shop, and it was for like $3 or something like that. I'm like, Mom. And she's like, no, we're here to get clothes. Exchange clothes, get clothes. That's how it works. And so I was like, but $3, And now it's what, like $200 for a My Pet Monster with chains and everything. So like,
yeah.
I think it's more.
Oh, really?
It's probably more. Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on how frazzled the fingers are, like it can be. Yeah.
Yeah, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anything that I watched on television. But so now I just buy all that stuff for myself. Last year she bought me an Elf stuffy, and almost cried. I was like, oh my god, Elf! Oh,
Oh man.
sweet, but whatever. And the Power Wheels, I bought some kind of Power Wheels related thing for a cosplay. My sister and I, we cosplay as Wayne and Garth, and I found this powder blue Power Wheels thing, and we made it look like onto the Mirthmobile, like drove it around Comic Con. It was really fun. It came with the remote. My sister was trying to like make it go really fast. I'm like, no, it's in my garage and everything, and I have it. But the one thing I never really got, the one thing that I really, really wanted was my Pet Master. But uh, so yeah, back to what you were saying. Being that I have a sister, twin sister, we would always mostly get shared something to share. We'd open it together. It'd be a big thing. And my favorite shared gift was this Disneyland sort of train playset thing.
Cool.
It had like 4 different compartments. I think it was from like 1986 or something. And it had like Futureland and I don't know, like Adventureland and Tomorrowland and everything, and had all the original. Really neat. There was a certain way you put it together, but my sister and I did not play by the rules, and we kind of just like did our own thing, and then kind of made it go off ramps and everything. Put it on the table, and watched Mickey fly, and yeah. Anyway,
Wait, Ducky, was this like Fisher Price, or do you remember? Was it?
I think it was Playmate. I think it was a Playmate.
Playmates or
It's
Playmobil?
it's Playmates.
Playmate?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's
The like Ferris wheel, and then
yeah,
it was
That's
really
cool.
it's pretty cool.
at it. But my ultimate favorite thing that was not a shared thing, but both my sister and I got was this Tommy Brand. It was like a sort of a, what do you call it, emulator, like a driving thing, a turbo turning something or other. I wrote it down.
Was it like a desktop kind of thing where you had the wheel, or?
This thing where it was a portable thing, which had like a red front end of
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I remember
red.
that.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
remember
know what
that
you're
too.
talking
Yeah. Hmm.
Odometer and things like that.
Classic.
Yeah.
I played the crap out of that until it broke. And even when it broke, I still played with it. Like I would make noises and stuff. And I looked up recently, talking about looking things up and seeing, my Pet Monster is now more than $200 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
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 There's one guy, still had the thrift store sticker on it that said like $10 or whatever, and he was selling it for $100, and I'm just like, what? Huh? And it worked. You think? But kidding me? Really? I have adult money now. I could buy it, but
Right.
that was the one. That was my favorite. That was my ultimate favorite toy. I mean, I played with that until probably middle school.
Yeah, don't downplay the fact. Don't come at us with this. Well, mine's kind of lame. That was really cool.
That's a cool one. Yeah.
That's a cool toy.
Yeah.
Hey, Ducky. This is a 1988 Kenner Brain Blaster, the real Ghostbusters. I'm a sucker for anything real Ghostbusters. I feel like it's one of the most underrated like toy franchises, cartoons ever. And and downstairs, I could literally pull out my my sleeping bag. I have the original, the real Ghostbusters sleeping bag. It's in a box, like wrapped in a plastic thing. If you guys want me to show it to you, I will. But I probably have to hold it up back here. But
Dude,
I have to go
John,
grab
you're
it.
speaking to the choir here. Real Ghostbusters is like my favorite cartoon of all time.
Man.
And seriously, man. And I always wanted the toys as a kid, and Kenner re-released them like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I got all 4 of the original ones. I got the first wave where it says who you're gonna call on it, and they had to remove that because Kenner doesn't have the license to that. It's what's his name? Ray Parker Jr. has it. So I have the original 4 guys with the who you're gonna call of the
That's
re-releases, and then
That's
I got
awesome.
the Fright feature ones. And so on my wall behind in my office back in Oregon, I'm in Maryland right now. I have on the wall, I have the Diamond Select Ghostbusters, and they like are the realistic looking, and they're on the wall. And then under them, it goes real Ghostbuster, and then the Fright Features one, but they go like Venkman,
Love
Egon, they go in
right on.
order like that. So, dude, you're
Right on.
in Ducky. I real Ghostbusters, anything,
I love that.
Yep.
To that point, recently one of my most recent cosplays was Egon from the Real Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
One of the things I really wanted was the kind of 1984 proton pack and the everything. And so when I was assembling this, I found a complete kit, bought the thing, and I've always wanted the Egon action figure, and I looked at myself all dressed up with my crap and everything. It's like, I don't need a toy. I am the toy.
Yes.
You are.
Nice.
Amazing.
That was a
I
movie.
love it. I love it.
That's great.
Diallo, what was your holiday gift or present?
I don't know. All my favorite ones, I think, it was kind of hard for me to think because again, I was born in like the early 70s, so I had like a lot of my favorite toys were from then. And then I don't know, when I hit the 80s, I had like a good solid 5 years of still getting toys and stuff. But a lot of my favorite toys were like my brothers and sisters stuff that they got. Like I remember the year he got like a Knight Rider that had like Michael Knight figure.
Oh, that's so bad. That's one I wanted.
He got like the Raven.
Are we frozen? Oh, yeah.
Ship from the G.I. Joe,
Oh,
That's
the
great.
Night Raven. Yeah,
Night Raven.
I had that. I had that.
Yeah,
I think
they had
it's
like a little
huge.
ship that was on top that came off.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
But
Great toy.
my favorite toy. I don't remember when I got the Millennium Falcon. I have two toys that are my favorite all time. One of them is the Millennium Falcon, but I can't remember if I got that in the 70s or 80s. I'm that old now, so I don't even know.
70s kids unite.
Yeah, right. I think
Hey,
I
I'm a
might have gotten it.
76. I'm a 76, man.
Well, me and Tim were born in 78, so
I might have gotten it in like 1980, so it made it cut off. But there's another one I remember, and it's a little bit of an interesting story because I remember I wanted this really, really, really bad, and Christmas time came, and my mother told me that it's on its way. It was still on order, and they were all out of them. So
and there
I had
is
to
no
wait.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. No, my parents are super Christians and killed the idea of Santa Claus long before.
No.
Horrible.
Horrible.
But so she was like, "Oh, you gotta wait. It's on order. It's coming, and it won't be until January 20th." So it was the longest month of my life. Waiting for this to come. But I finally got it, and it was the G.I. Joe Sky Striker.
Oh, nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Love
Some
it.
of the pieces are in my Millennium Falcon back there. It's kind of simple. But yeah, and this actually isn't the one that I got. So I don't know. Again, parents be throwing stuff away. So I didn't even know where my original ones are, my original Millennium Falcon or my original Sky Striker. But I had a friend about 10, 15 years ago that actually I was helping him move some stuff. And he had all these like G.I. Joes and Star Wars stuff. And I was like, "Oh, I used to love those." He's like, "You want them?" And I was like, "Are you serious?" He just gave them to me.
No way.
So, yeah. So this is the Sky Striker, and there's a couple figures that came with it too. Ace came with it, and then he gave me like Han Solo and some stuff. So
Did you start singing the theme song to Laverne and Shirley, "Making Our Dreams Come True"?
Haas and Pepper Incorporated. Yeah. So he gave me a Snake Eyes and a Storm Shadow, which recently I realized the little bands broke that kept their torsos together. So I had to order some off of Amazon just like a couple weeks ago so I can put them all together. But I'm gonna have a whole restoration thing going on soon where I'm gonna restore the Sky Striker and the Millennium Falcon to like brand new.
That's awesome, dude.
Can you videotape it? Can you videotape it and then it's like put it up online so everyone can see? I'm sure people would love to see that.
No, yeah, I've seen tons of videos like that, so I definitely will. When I get to that point where I'm going to do it, I definitely will. So,
that's awesome. I've got a bucket full of like GI Joes and like hang on a second. Like,
So
I got a
think
bucket full of GI Joes.
you know what?
It's like a
I've
Kendrick
got
Lamar
here. I'll just
bar.
turn this a little bit to show you, but I've got like stacks of boxes full of GI Joes and like different toys that I want to like
oh my god.
rejuvenate and just kind of like, but like here and here.
Oh, wow.
And that's my comic book collection. But the GI Joes, the thing about those, I always felt like engineering wise, they were probably like I don't know. I always hated the idea of the band in there, you know, but
Yeah.
I've got probably like 30 GI Joes in there. I got to restore, but I'm thinking I'm just going to hire somebody because it takes time to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, but I just feel like Hasbro always created like the best vehicles, like the just amazing play sets. I played with GI Joes so much when I was a kid. My neighbor again, Bradley, he had a whole bunch of them, and that's what we used to do. We used to like dig holes in the front yard and build like little stick forts and then play GI Joes. That was life, you know.
When I was a kid, I had so single parent, you know, divorced, 80s kid. My parents were divorced, you know, how typical. And my grandpa would kind of watch me in the afternoons when my mom was at work and everything. So me and my grandpa were like thick as thieves growing up. And I remember one of my Cobra troopers, his band broke in his waist. And, you know, of course, I got upset and I was like, hey, Grandpa, can you fix him? He's like, oh, you know, sure. I was like, let me just have him for the weekend. I'll fix him. And he, you know, he gave it back to me and it was fixed. And I was like, oh my God, you know, and as a kid, I was like, oh, my grandpa's magical. He can fix them. And then I got older and I realized he probably just bought another, you know, Cobra and gave it to me. But then that was my realization when I was in my 20s and 30s. Now that I'm in my 40s, I'm in another phase of life. And I said, you know what? I know that's probably the reality of it, but I'm going to choose to think that my grandpa fixed it. And I'm going to choose to think that's what he did. You know what I mean? And I realized that those are the different phases of your life. You know,
he cared enough to like make you believe, right?
Exactly.
That's the important part. Yeah.
So speaking of, and by the way, a little side note, between John and Grace, I think you guys have the largest collection of 80s memorabilia like that I've ever seen. It is gorgeous. Grace's backdrop, for those that are just listening to this, if you go on Grace's Instagram page, she has amazing photos. So does Ducky too. You got to everybody go to all their pages and check out their stuff. But Grace has like what she has behind her is just, it looks like a museum. It's amazing. So does John too. But
and Grace, the stuff that we've been talking about, have you did you have any of the ones that have come up so far?
You know what, the NES system, I mean, I have such fond memories of seeing it at Toys R Us for $99.99 on sale. And my parents were just freaking cheapskates, but thankfully, kind of like what Ducky said, like you have, you know, you befriend the people that like can afford that stuff, right? So for me, it was my cousins actually had everything. They were spoiled rotten. They had, you know, all the video. They had ColecoVision, they had Nintendo, they had it all. Right? So I would go there to play. Sadly, I was a bit deprived as a child growing up. But I mean, probably like the one thing that I really loved growing up as a kid were Barbies and Gem dolls. I have like all the Gem dolls now. I need to build a dedicated shelf for all them. I have literally everything from the 80s on Gem.
That's awesome.
Grace, we did a TV Obscura, our favorite theme songs, cartoon theme songs, and Gem was I think number 2. Mask was number 1. But as a kid, I only caught Jim right before I started watching G.I. Joe. So I didn't actually watch Jim the cartoon, but I caught the outro theme song. I loved it as a kid. But of course, you know, being a boy back in the 80s, I couldn't admit it to anybody, but I was like, this song rocks.
Well, I got away with it because I had 4 sisters.
There you go.
So I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, you know what, Jim, come on. Then I'd be like, yeah,
Jim was
rocks,
awesome.
Man.
Jim rocks.
Yes, my sister had the Jim doll, and so I got to like hang out with the Jim doll, and yeah, that was it. But again, it was like, and I've told this story on other podcasts before. I love Jim and the Holograms cartoon like so much. I was like, it was appointment watching, but I never like talked about it with anybody. Like
you weren't allowed to, dude. Yeah, I get it.
It wasn't like I consciously was hiding it. I just, you know, kind of an instinct, I guess, survival instinct from the 80s. And it wasn't until like early 2000s I was talking with a friend of mine, and I was saying how much I love Jim, and I was like, oh my God, this is the first time I've actually ever told anybody I like that show, and I was like 29, 30 at that point. Yeah, so it's
This is gonna probably freak you guys out because it terrifies everybody. But I have the Gem original Ben Cooper mask, and people like seem to like be really scared of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh
Wow.
So cool.
goodness.
That is so cool.
I mean, why would you be scared of this? It's beautiful.
I love it.
That is
I love
so
it.
cool. Wow.
Zach, we were talking about the Ben Cooper masks on the
yes.
Halloween episode.
We
That's
sure were.
awesome.
That's
And
amazing.
Grace, the
we need to
packaging
do-
for that is fantastic.
We need to do a Halloween next year, Halloween episode where we're all wearing Ben Cooper masks that we buy.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
I'll wear my Optimus Prime one. It probably still smells like
Yeah.
spit
Well,
and sweat.
look at there we go.
That's so
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
That's so awesome.
Where are you?
He looks like the surprise moment.
I love it.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Where's Rio?
I
Where's
love it.
my Rio?
That's so cool.
Oh my gosh. All right.
That's
so
Tim. Were you ever a Gem fan?
I was, yeah. I loved the cartoon, and there was nobody to talk to it about. And I like Diallo's answer. It was survival of the fittest. Like, I'm not going to mention this to any of my friends, but I don't know if any of my friends watched it. But yeah, I tuned in, and I thought it was great. It was different than other stuff that I'd watched. It was like this high energy, like I don't know what the right term is, but there's like lasers and all sorts of it's sort of like a music video almost, right? Because they were a band.
And literally was music videos on it.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that was something that I hadn't really seen before, and I think that was enough just to get my attention and get me interested in it. The fact that it was a girls band, I don't think that I didn't even really acknowledge it back in the day. It was just like, this is a really cool cartoon that I'm enjoying. The music is cool. The animation is cool. I think this is neat. And yeah, I was a fan.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Wasn't there like a cartoon block with Thundercats and
No,
Gem?
it was Gem, Robotics, and Bigfoot.
I don't remember any of them.
And
So-
Gem is the only one that made it out of that, essentially.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
literally I just talked about that on an episode of Territory Marks where it was a Sunday block.
Sunday block?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it got shifted
Yeah.
to Saturdays, but occasionally in Humanoids. But it was all the Sunbow cartoons.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
So me being in Canada, I probably got different stuff than you guys got.
Bow cartoon?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Bo.
Yeah.
Bo.
Yeah.
Did you,
You know
Tim,
what?
did you get it as a standalone cartoon, or did you get it as part of the block?
It was part of block, some type of block. I don't remember when, but
Okay.
I think it was before something I wanted to watch. And like you, Corey, I caught the end of it, and that caught my attention, and then I tuned into it because of that.
Nice.
You know,
I want to. So we got Corey and we got Dustin that got to share their gifts, and then we'll go around a little bit to wrap up. But so I want to get on Corey really quick. Sleazy C, what was that thing that you wanted as a kid?
Well, I'm gonna take a little cue from Ducky and Grace real quick, and I'm gonna say the one thing that I always wanted and I didn't get was the Real Ghostbusters Proton pack, that plastic blue one. I mean, I loved that thing as a kid, and I mean, I always, I look at it now and it's tiny, but like as a kid, I was like, it was my size, so it was amazing. Yeah, hold it up, keep it up.
Ducky. That's great.
I told you I am the action figure now.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Amazing.
Oh,
That's
Ducky, I'm so
awesome.
jealous of you. I'm so jealous. That's awesome. But I will say the one gift that blew my mind as a kid. I forgot if it was Ducky that said it or John that said it, but I was always aware that my parents didn't have a lot of money. And so I'd never kind of expected too many things, or I would say if I was going to get something big, I wasn't going to expect a bunch of like little things also. Like it would be one big thing or a bunch of maybe just action figures, So I had like a lot of Star Wars action figures, but not too many vehicles, except for one. 1983. I was born in 78. The first movie I can ever remember seeing in the theater was Return of the Jedi. Boba Fett changed my life. My whole life went off in a different direction because of that. But I woke up Christmas morning and it was already out of the case. So I guess my dad put it together.
No, Santa-
1983.
Santa
It was yes, Santa did. Yes, you're right. Santa put it together.
Don't laugh.
The AT-AT. The AT-AT.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
AT-AT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The all-terrain armored transport for
Oh,
the
so cool.
Imperial. But the AT-AT, the biggest freaking thing I'd ever seen in my
Yeah,
life
it's
when I
like
was
this
5
big.
years old.
It's
Yeah, when I was
really
5
cool.
years
Yeah.
old, it was like half my size already. Like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
huge. And I think I got a Gamorrean guard that year as well, and I love that toy so much, and an Admiral Akbar. But that AT-AT
I'll
just
take
it
an Admiral
lived
Akbar and a
in my heart forever, and I
That's
love
awesome.
that AT-AT so much. And I know that's a lot of people's like holy grails and a lot of people's favorite one as well. I feel like it's kind of cliche to say that one, but at the
No,
same
it's
time,
special
I
to
can
you.
Is it?
like I remember it so well. I don't remember much from my childhood. I don't know why, but I remember that.
That's awesome,
It's
man.
so
Cool.
special. Yeah, I mean, look, and I said this earlier. It's how it made you feel. I don't care about Jimmy Joe living down the street with his AT-AT. You know, it's like our community, who we have on this show right now. We all appreciate that. That's a beautiful
Because
thing.
I was
man.
also like, I had a couple friends that had like all the toys. Like one of my friends had the Terrordrome and what another friend had the Ewok Village. And I would go over there to play with those. But I had the AT-AT. It was mine. Obviously, I shared with anyone who wanted to come over and play. But I usually went to other people's houses. So like
Obviously.
AT-AT was always sort of mine.
It's always where it's at.
Hey.
Hey.
Just to keep us tight on the time, I'm gonna pivot over to Dustin and have you
Pivot.
reveal.
Pivot.
Yeah. Well, this isn't so much a reveal because I'm aligned with John, but this is a full circle moment because I mentioned that this whole thing started on a panel in LA Comic-Con with the entire premise of the disappointment of Rob the Robot.
Oh.
So, we all saw those commercials. We were like, what is this crazy thing? They had been showing Rob had apparently been a thing in Japan for a minute and everyone knew. And then when it came over to the US, we were all very excited. Like this robot's going to like move this thing. And it was like the dumbest shit you've ever seen in your life. It was the dumbest fucking thing. And Gyromite. And so John, the point is like,
Gyromite.
John, when you got that set and we got that set, we knew that Rob was bullshit at that point because all of our friends, we had played it with all of our friends already. And we're like, wow, Rob is just sitting in the corner of your living room.
That's it.
Can't you bring him
Collecting
out?
dust.
Bring out Rob. And they're like,
Oh
no,
my
we
God.
can't because he's the
Oh.
lamest thing you've ever seen. So,
Yeah.
so having that knowledge and informing like, hey, we got the action set. We got the, we
Yep.
knew what was the key components and what was, what to reject and what to accept. And we rejected
Yep.
society. And then we accepted just the basics. It was that. It was
Rob.
It was amazing. Well, no, I'm saying Rob was disappointing.
Yes.
Well, Dustin, how does the power pad hold up for you compared to Rob? I had the power pad, and as a fat little 80s
No,
kid,
no,
I
no.
was I worked
There's
off
no
some
power-
calories,
no
though,
power
for sure.
No power pad, no super joy. No, it's the essentials, right? It's the core. It's certainly the gun, the blaster, but
yeah.
But outside of Duck Hunt, right? Nobody. I mean, whatever. So no. So it's super. It's it's the basics. It's the foundational stuff as 80s kids that we all.
And you had that? Did you have that? The Nintendo, the full system.
Well, so I had what John had.
Literally had the same one.
No, I think mine was Super Mario Brothers. Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. Okay.
So this one came with the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt.
Yeah. That's
the one you had.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay.
This would be the common one. You probably find these like at a Kmart as well,
And you put them on layaway. You guys remember layaway?
Yeah, right. Layaway.
Yep.
Right.
At least, and to I think we need to unpack this.
We just got to the Lee. Yes, the Power Glove also garbage.
Thank
yes.
you, Lee.
That was trash as well.
I have to say, Grace's trauma from watching her family having such a great time playing that Pac-Man game is so messed up.
Grace, you win. You win the episode.
You win. Yeah.
They had such a blast playing it. I'm like, I got it. They're gonna buy it for me.
Man.
Walked out empty-handed.
That's a gut punch. That's a gut punch.
That's
So-
amazing.
We had something really cool happen a couple days ago. Dustin was out with friends, or you were at a gathering, right? And there was a guy there Or no.
Well, let me explain
Yeah,
the story
please.
because it
Yeah.
happened to me.
Yes.
But
I don't know.
no. Basically,
Good talk,
like,
Zach.
filling in the blanks.
I've been
or
up
whatever.
since 3 a.m.
No, the fact is, you guys might be familiar with the something called awkward family photos, right? It's just like we love them from the 80s. Well, the creator of Awkward Family Photos has created a new special game for the holidays, and it is called Awkward Family Photos Totally 80s.
Why don't I hold it? You
Yes, you hold it. I'll bring it up so you can see what it looks like. But basically, it's combining two of our favorite things, which is the awkwardness of the 80s, the family photos of the 80s, and movie lines. So the game is basically you don't need to know the movie lines, but you're combining. You're basically pulling a card and you're assigning your favorite movie line to an awkward family photo, and then the group will decide like, hey, you get awarded points.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're very excited. So Doug from Awkward Family Photos had reached out, and he
That's
said,
great.
we'd love to collaborate, and of course, we love collaborating, especially when it's this niche. So
yeah,
the
That's
link,
great.
so you guys can, we can maybe we can do a giveaway right now. I don't know if we have that ability, but anyway,
why don't we'll do a giveaway because I want to give one to all of them, but you know what I want to do is we'll do a proper giveaway on our Instagram. So if you're watching this now, sometime in the upcoming week, we will do a special giveaway of one of the board games of Awkward Family Photos Totally 80s. It's amazing.
Yes, it's really cool. And if you are interested in purchasing that, if you guys are watching right now and you're interested, the link is in the description to buy it from Doug's special link.
This is great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go around to everybody, and before I do that, I want to say we haven't done a live 80s Kids outside of LA Comic-Con. And this is really special. And just to get a little sentimental and emotional for a minute, I love all the people that I get to work with. I feel like they're my family, and it's a really huge honor to have you guests join us because I personally was like, I want to get some of the people that I'm a big fan of on our show. And I hope this is the beginning of many more down the road. John, we've had you on to talk about the Warriors, and we will definitely have you back. But, I just love our little community that we've created, and it's very special. So I want to give all you guys big shout outs and praise because you're wonderful people. And thank you for coming on our show.
Yep. And everyone's Instagrams, follow them. They're all in the description as well. You guys definitely need to be following everybody here.
So Grace, if you live in the LA area, you'll see Grace all the time at literally every.
You're always at the Egyptian and whatnot. I'm so jealous. I used to love going to the Egyptian.
Oh man, yeah, and the New Beverly. I ran into Zach at a Phantasm event, which was freaking awesome.
He told me that. He was like, I saw Grace there. I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so
he
cool.
beat me to the line, so he was in front of me. So
Did you ever make it to I'm Arrow as well?
I don't know.
Oh, all the time. Yeah, the Arrow, the New Beverly. Yeah, I basically live at those places. So I'm actually going, speaking of the warm side of the door, I'm going to go see Silent Night, Deadly Night on 35mm tomorrow at the New Beverly.
Wow.
With Black Christmas. So, and I've got my Black Christmas outfit already.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Okay. Anything quickly that anyone wants to promote? Ducky, do you want to promote anything or?
I am not that kind of person. I mean, like, what I do, I'm like, hey, what I do, and if you like it.
Well, then let me ask you this. Is there a way, have you posted a picture of yourself as Egon on your Instagram page?
I haven't. You know what? For Halloween, I was going to do a style mashup. So I usually do those all the time, which I actually have on something that's mashed up with Snow Miser from A Year Without a Santa Claus. But
nice.
I was going to do an Egon from the Real Ghostbusters style mashup. I got sick, so that didn't happen. But I may do that in the coming weeks. So,
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, then keep us posted.
Ducky, as a real Ghostbusters fan, I can't wait to see it.
Me too. Me too.
Cool.
And Tim, you just had your 300th episode on Talking Back, right, with your brother.
Nice.
Damn.
And
Congratulations.
anything coming up? Anything coming up?
Well, coming up each year, we do a new theme on the podcast, and the first Monday of every month is theme orientated. So we started it a few years ago. We did Star Wars. We did all the Star Wars movies. Then we did ninja movies. Then we did time travel movies. So we're starting a new theme in January, and I can't tell you what it is because it's special. It's special for our patrons. Corey's a patron. He'll get to find out very shortly. Everybody else has to wait till the first Monday of the month. But yeah, just a podcast really quick. Movies, comics, video games, and more just from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. So if you like listening to podcasts and you like nostalgia and you can handle listening to my voice, then you might want to tune in.
All right. Right.
That's
John,
awesome. Yeah.
John,
And
how
make
about
sure you
dude?
check out our watch list with Tim. It was by the time this drops, it was about 2 weeks ago. But it's all in the December. It's part of the December holiday Christmas stuff. So we had a lot of fun talking to Tim about some awesome, really obscure 80s toys. Bugman of Insecta, if anybody remembers that one. Yeah. So Tim brought some real obscure ones to the table, and it was a lot of fun talking to him about it.
It was a great time. Yeah.
I know.
So, John, how about you? What's going on in your world? You said you've got a great newsletter that you put out weekly, don't you?
You do.
I do. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that so basically, the biggest thing I've been working on for about a year and a half has been really close to my heart, and that's going to be out early next year. It's called Nostalgia Nation: The Definitive Chronicle of Growing Up Gen X. It's a book. So that's going to be published next year, probably sometime end of January.
Cool.
I'm super pumped about it.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
awesome,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you. And so that's really close to my heart. So if anybody's interested in checking that out or knowing about it, knowing when it drops, all that stuff, just go to that80sdude.com. Simple, and obviously follow my gram. That's where I'm at most of the time. I've taken a few bouts of sabbaticals from my daily posts just to finish second edit, first edit, second edit stuff, working on the interior design and of the book and getting all that stuff taken care of. It's incredible how much work goes into publication and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you. And always so good to meet everybody. Obviously, some of you, like I said, I've known about you, but just haven't met you face to face through the wire. Such a pleasure. And Zach and Dustin, I love you guys. You know that. But thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Same. I was gonna throw it over to Corey. And Corey, what do we got going on in Podcasting After Dark?
Oh, Christmas horror movies, baby. We got a Christmas Bloody Christmas drop-in. And then Zach, what was your movie again?
And then
Devil Times 5.
Devil Times 5. If you want to see Leaf Garrett in one of his earliest roles, it's basically Home Alone meets a slasher film.
Grace was there, right?
Grace, you were there.
Wait, at Beyond Fest? I think
No.
At Horror-thon or whatever.
This is the Horror-thon a couple weeks back.
Oh, at the New Bev. No.
At the Arrow. At the Arrow Theater here in Santa Monica, they did that 12-hour screening. It was the second movie after Species, called Devil Times 5.
Oh God, that movie.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Trauma. I was not expecting that movie to go where it went.
I can't wait. I haven't watched it yet. Mine is I'm heading back to Oregon on Wednesday, and my copy is there. I ordered it. So I got Zach, is it Severin or Vinegar Syndrome? I think
Vinegar Syndrome put out a
Vinegar Syndrome.
Okay. Yeah. So I got that 4K waiting for me at home.
That's awesome.
But speaking of Lee in the chat, I did just watch Dial Code Santa Claus, aka Deadly Games, from 1989 the other night, and that was a wild ride. So guys and gals, go check that one out.
Diallo, do you have what's going on that we could promote for you? Galactica actually.
We're on a mini sabbatical for Galactica. Actually, life is happening. But I do this one podcast called TV Obscura. Podcast. After Dark. Yeah. So a couple guys I know, they're pretty cool most of the time.
I am by the time you hear this, the Fat Albert episode will be out. But by the time we're recording this, it's dropping tomorrow. I am very proud of that conversation that we had because we did have to talk about some, you know, some
we had to talk
elephants
about
in the
some stuff.
room, you know?
Yeah. And maybe
I
the
will-
whole country will come together and hear what we have to say, and
Yeah.
we could start healing together.
That would
you know?
be
I hope
wonderful.
so.
Yeah.
I just
Hopefully.
pitched to Corey the other day that we have to do an episode devoted to Ann Gillian, because Ann Gillian in the 80s was on like 3 or 4 different sitcoms that she was the star of, including
Yeah.
one that was her own name. If you don't know who Ann Gillian is,
Yeah.
look her up because she was everywhere in the 80s. I'm like, what is going on? Dustin and I are wrapping up the end of the month with an interview with Colleen Camp. We had to reschedule, but we're going to interview her next week, and that's going to drop. That's probably going to be the last episode of the year, I think, that we drop. For interview based on editing and everything. But Colleen Camp from Valley Girl, Walk Like a Man, Clue, like the list goes on. Police Academy 3, et cetera, et cetera. She's a trip, so we're excited to do that. And then
That's
coming in
awesome.
January,
Awesome.
we're going to be doing a live show on YouTube called Versus. And Versus will take 2 things, for example, High C and Kool-Aid, you know, which one beats, basically a debate show. And then the fans, or the listeners and the people who chime in the chat, they'll be the ones to decide who was more effective in giving their explanation as to which one is better.
Speech and debate in 80s form.
Yes. So, you know,
Right on.
so that's coming in
awesome.
January. And
Fun,
we got
man.
a lot of, and I would like to have this be the first of many more to come with all of y'all, because you are just absolutely wonderful.
This was
Debbie
so
Gibson
cool,
or
guys.
Tiffany.
There you go. And I just also want to point out that Dustin has officially made it back onto the nice list.
Nice. Dustin.
Yay!
You did your
Yes,
penance.
praise be.
Let's go.
Wow. Well, this
Christmas
was
penance.
special getting to have this guy come all the way out to me, because it's about an hour to get over here. It's pretty much a schlep.
It was great.
But we want to wish all of you,
Dustin loved every minute of it.
Love every minute. I did.
we want to wish
Hey,
all
hey,
of you
before you say that, I want to
Yeah, yeah.
extend. If anybody's in San Diego, please hit me up. Let's go grab a drink and chat nostalgia.
Well, that's
Yeah.
going to happen with us for sure, John.
And John, let me know if you make it up to Astoria again. I'll try to see
will.
if we can sync up or something.
I will. I'll get on the gram and DM you guys. Get your information and stuff, and we'll connect there.
Well, this little community of 80s nostalgic lovers is only going to be stronger and bolder as the years go by or the episodes go by. And I think it would be great to get all of us together in one place. Maybe we'll do a live show down the road in 2025.
We can tour. We can tour.
Yeah, I'm totally
Yeah,
game. We could
Ducky
do
and
it-
Grace, I hope I get to meet you all one day in person. This was awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you guys so much.
guys.
Happy holidays to everybody, whether you celebrate one of the holidays or whether you don't. Everything from Kwanzaa, Diwali, Hanukkah. Did I say it correctly?
You're just being so diplomatic to the point of like.
No, but I.
To the point of ridiculousness.
Diwali.
This is
No, it's the festival of
Happy
lights.
Valentine's Day. Happy
Oh,
Saturday.
Happy Festivus. How about that?
Happy Festivus for the rest of us.
Day, not Columbus Day. If you celebrate Columbus and believe he wasn't a murderer.
Parting thoughts. Go ahead.
No parting thoughts. No parting thoughts. I just want to thank you guys.
I'll bring you to the warm side of the door.
Yeah, follow everybody below, and much love. We're gonna end the stream right this way.
Oh,
Merry Christmas.
80s Kids Unite is brought to you by Hungry Hungry Hippos, the loudest tabletop game in history. And by Nickelback, Zach's favorite band. If you'd like to suggest topics for this show, go to the Patreon of either $2 late fee or Podcasting After Dark, or both. All links are in the show notes. We love you.